There we go.
I've been stitched up to ask this, but are you in doubt for round one?
Heavily in doubt for round one for the rest of my career, I think.
What have you done?
Just a ruptured Achilles. Yeah. So probably out for a few months, I think. Yeah.
Ben Mackay, have you been told about the compensation yet? Or?
Haven't been told yet. No, we're actually just driving in. Saw it on one of the media feeds, so that the paperwork's been lodged. So yeah, we'll wait and see as to what that deal is, and we'll have a decision to make after that.
Right, did you have conversations with West Coast about the possibility of getting to play?
No, not in detail. Obviously, we don't know our full hand yet with our draft this year. We'll see what happens today with compensation for Mackay, whether we match, whether we let him through, and then we'll start to look at what we can do with our draft hand from there potentially. So yeah, just wanted to make sure everything's concrete before we started talking picks that aren't out yet.
What would you do if it was the end of first round for Ben?
Oh, you're matching. Yeah.
If that comes right.
It's pretty clear, yeah. We've said it all along. We're not accepting in the first round for the compensation for a 25-year-old key defender in our leadership group. So, if it's first round, then it's a different story.
Have you had conversations with the Swans surrounding Dylan Stevens and to bring him in?
Yeah, Dylan's obviously a player we've targeted throughout this year. We've watched a lot of him. We think he can add some outside run and ball use and even a bit of versatility as well with where he plays. So we have had initial discussions with the Swans, and I'll pick him up again this afternoon.
So is it you to just have him come in and occupy a spot on the wing, or do you see him potentially rolling and adding to the wings as well?
Yeah, well, we've certainly looked at him as a wingman. At VFL level, he's had some really good inside form as well. But we're looking at him as a versatile player as well. We think there's a bit more to him than just a wingman. And we've been keen to add some run and ball use on the outside, whether that's wing, half forward, on ball, rebound defender. We think he's got potential to play a few roles.
If he came to a player of interest, given your salary cap room and some possibilities there, it seems someone you look at over the next 2 weeks?
It's a good question. We're certainly open to some discussions around improving our draft order, bringing in some more mature players. We haven't spoke about him specifically, but if there's an ability to bring some players in with a bit of maturity, while we still pick up high, we'd certainly entertain players that we think might be able to play in our best 22 in the next year or two.
About those keepers and defenders, if you do lose Mackay, you're definitely going to need to bring someone in, or not necessarily?
We're in that space, Ralphie. Yeah, we, as I said, there's a few mechanisms. The draft this year, if we have got a few picks up pretty high, there's potential there to fill spots. We have been looking in the DFA space as well. We've also been looking internally at our list as to who could potentially play back, and we think we've got a few options there.
Is Toby Pink one of those?
Yeah, Toby's one of those players we've been looking at. He's been the sample for 3 years now after his opportunity at Sydney. We actually signed him up as a VFL player before COVID hit, and then he went back to Glenelg. So we've kept a close eye on him. We think his second half of this year at Samfle's been outstanding. We think he's a premier defender in the Sample, and now a premiership player at a Sample level. So yeah, he's someone we're pretty keen to bring in, and we think he's deserved this opportunity.
About Zach Fisher, is he someone you're particularly keen on?
Yeah, Zach's another one with Dylan that we've identified throughout the year. He's in a bit of a different situation than Dylan. Dylan's out of contract. Zach's still got 2 years left at Carlton. So a bit to work through with the Blues, but he's certainly another player we'd like to bring in with some speed and ball use, as I mentioned before.
Is that a 4-year deal you've offered him, or?
We've certainly had to increase on the 2 years, yeah. He's pretty keen on staying, Zach, but I think probably at the end of the year when he didn't get a game, it was probably changed his mind a little bit.
Tyron Thomas had a bit of a look around a few weeks ago. Is he someone you look to maybe talk in extension-wise this off-season, or is that something for later down the track?
Yeah, well, once we get through trade period, we'll certainly look at players that we potentially contract out for a few more years. he'll definitely be in that discussion. I think everyone saw what he did in the second half of the year. He ended up coming 6th in our DNF, I think it was, after 12 games. So he's an elite talent. We think we can get more out of him as a player, and yeah, it's exciting as what our young midfield can do over the future years.
Sounds like Todd Goldstein will be along by the end of the day. They seem pretty confident that that'll be through.
Yeah, well, Todd's a 17-year-old unrestricted free agent. Yeah, he's obviously he's right to move where he wants to. We were prepared to give him another year. He decided to finish his career elsewhere, so he's been an absolute champion of our club. We wish him all the best at his new club.
So is the desire there to replace that type of player and that experienced ruck, or are you something to look at, or are you content to go into next year with Christian and Callum as your ruck there?
Yeah, we'll certainly look to add some flexibility there. We've got Hamish free as well. There's a mature player that we've rookied from South Fremantle. So we've got 3 mature bodies there that can ruck. And we've got some forward ruck options as well. So, but we've got the extra list spots this year that the AFL have granted us. So being able to have 44 on our list is certainly something we'd probably looked at as well, whether it be a young up-and-comer or a mature one that might have fallen off the list.
How challenging is it to try and put together a package for that number 1 pick? You just go crazy and all of a sudden just compromise your draft hand. What's that challenge?
Yeah, obviously we've been in that position before, John, and we've knocked back a fair bit for the pick 1. Sometimes the business deal looks really good, but when you put the player to it, it can certainly change your thoughts on your pick 1. No doubt West Coast are going through that at the moment. There's always a price on things, and you don't want to stretch yourself too far to get up. But we'll certainly look at if there is a way to get up. But as I said, you've just got to weigh that up against keeping your hand and potentially bringing in 3 or 4 players in the first round potentially.
Is the cost of the number 1 pick this year more just because of the wraps that are on Harley?
I think pick 1 each year's. We've seen the players that have gone pick 1 in recent years. They've probably all got the same sort of value. We knocked back plenty for Jason Horne-Francis. It's probably the same type of price put on this year's round 1, but that's up to West Coast to decide.
Brady, you disappointed with Chris Scott's comments. What did you make of those, talking about, I guess, the inadequate compensation you got from the AFL? Were you surprised or disappointed with what Chris had to say?
I don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest. A lot of people have got an opinion on what we got from the AFL. Everyone's going to have a say. I don't think any club's going to say, oh yeah, they deserve that, or good luck to them. It's a competition. We're all trying to get better. We're trying to win. So I don't really have an opinion on what anyone says. The AFL have granted us those picks, and we'll try and use them to the best of our ability.
Given they put the rider on those picks, that they have the ability at the end of 12 months to look at them again, does that give you imprimatur as, I guess, to trade them now rather than hold on to them for 12 months?
Yeah, I think the beauty these days with being able to trade your future picks, you look at your currency over a 2-year period. Put it this way, the way our draft hand currently stands, it won't be there. It won't be the same come draft night. There'll be picks flying around everywhere. So, I'm presuming they'll be involved in some trades or some pick swaps over the next week or so.
How excited is the coach to get stuck into this period and make it stronger?
Yeah, he's really excited. He's had a look at the draftees this year as well. He's been to draft camp, or combine, sorry. So he's excited about what we might bring in this off season with Dylan and Zach as well as the draftees. He's just going to get back out there and be around the boys and really improve this group that we've got. We think our 25 and under group's pretty strong. We need to add to that, and we need to make it better. So, it's pretty exciting times. Thanks, guys.